Gender is usually unbalanced in music magazines, showing males more frequently than females. This is because in the music industry, females are represented as sex objects and the males are presented as more dominant. This is why, in front covers that feature a mixed gender band, the female is usually not highlighted and instead hidden. For example, in this Enemy magazine, the female appears in the bottom right-hand corner as to not avert the attention away from the male members. This is extremely sexist as it shows how the music industry views women as less important and inferior to men. The female in this band also has been presented to appear like a male. This is because she has short hair and her makeup isn't overpowering. She's in a casual position with a straight face, which indicates male characteristics more than female. This is called androgynous and is commonly used in indie magazines to make the female sex less visible to the reader. However, on the other hand, females can be featured as the more prominent member of the band, like in this Enemy front cover featuring Paramore. I liked its empowerment of women and how it challenged conventions, which is why I used a female vocalist and positioned her in a similar manner to Hayley Williams. Although, when the female is shown as the prominent member, she is represented in a stereotypical fashion. This is emphasised by the use of purple lipstick and main cell line in the case of this Enemy magazine. Therefore, when representing gender, I have done so stereotypically as to fit in with the conventions of music magazines and the music industry's view on gender. I have created a mixed gender band, but the males outnumber the female, showing the dominance of the male gender. Furthermore, I have feminized the female vocalist by making her wear a dress and jewelry which is associated with the female gender, emphasizing the stereotypical nature. The fact that she looks feminine whilst also fitting into the genre of music will attract a wider male audience, which is a practice Q use in their magazine front covers. In addition, like the Enemy magazine featuring Paramore, I made my cell line the female associated colour of pink, emphasising the femininity of the lead vocalist. The costume of the males and the females is very different to show the divide between the two genders. Furthermore, the image featured on my double page spread shows the two males standing above the female on a tree stump. This connotates a hierarchy of genders, showing that males are seen as higher and more important in the music industry, and that females are looked down upon. You will always see a front cover featuring young artists because the target audience are interested in them because of their new and fresh music. This is done to make the reader who is a similar age to them feel connected and relatable to the magazine and the artists inside, making them more likely to buy the magazine. My target audience is between the ages of 16 to 25, and so I therefore used young artists in my magazine of a similar age so that my audience felt connected to my magazine. Music magazines such as Enemy continuously use white artists throughout their magazines. This is because indie music is heavily targeted at white individuals and the large majority of indie bands are white. This is why the most common race represented in my magazine is white, and there are very few black artists or artists of any other races present. By doing this, my magazine is attracting the right target audience and is more authentic because this is how race within indie music is represented. However, I wanted to challenge this convention and include some black indie artists. I therefore added artists such as MIA, Shamir and FKA Twigs to a category labelled Upcoming Black Artists. This is making my magazine more diverse and attracting a larger target audience of other ethnicities and races. By doing this, I am going against the convention of only using white indie bands, and I am making it known that there are black indie artists that my target audience would enjoy and should listen to. Therefore, by doing this and continuing to include bands from other ethnicities and races, I will change this convention and people's attitudes. British culture is heavily represented in indie magazines and is a clear theme throughout my magazine pieces. Firstly, the large majority of indie artists are British, which reflects the theme of British culture. Furthermore, indie music originated in the United Kingdom and so is established as a British genre of music. Also, the colours of the British flag are religiously used throughout indie magazines to symbolise the link to British culture. Lastly, features of Britain such as London, red buses, and British landmarks are commonly used in indie music and videos, including that of Oasis and The Verve. To represent British culture in my magazine, I used some well-known British bands such as The Wombats, Muse, Oasis, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Arctic Monkeys, and Kasabian. I also used the British flag colours of red, blue and white as part of my colour scheme throughout all three pieces, and even used the colour blue as the colour of my masthead, clearly representing the British culture within my magazine. Therefore, the British culture is heavily represented in my magazine pieces.